Well, Paul, is ALeague Longo ready to make her long-awaited Phoenix debut this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. She's got through training this week really well, looks sharp. Yeah, she's happy, ready to go. So, yeah, she'll be involved tomorrow and we'll be getting some minutes, so that'll be exciting.
You're coming off a win, so how do you balance trying to bring your captain into the team, because there's probably not too many players that have played their way out of the team anyway?
No, yeah, Friday morning's like my worst part of the week, because I've got to tell lots of players that probably deserve to be playing that they're not going to be playing, or they're not in the squad, and we haven't got too many injuries at the moment, so like the numbers are really high, so it means there's like a lot of players that miss out. This is the kind of price you pay for having a good squad, so like it's a really good problem to have, but it certainly doesn't make it easy, like kind of giving bad news in the morning. So yeah, it's been tough as it is each time I pick the team, but the good thing is when you've got ALeague coming in to add to what we've already got, and obviously like coming off the back of a win, then that's just a massive positive for everybody.
You're facing a Brisbane team that's doing pretty well, and they could have Tamika Gallup and Matilda in midfield. So how valuable was it to bring a player like ALeague into the team? Yeah,
look, I think we sort of spoke before about her experience is massive, the calming influence she has, but then just the technical influence as well. Like, and she's going to help any team be better in possession, and so like we've started to make some good strides in that space, but now it's like having someone like her come in is just going to keep adding to that. So yeah, we're hoping she'll have that good influence on the pitch.
And no Riley Foster this week. Can you just explain what the goal is then?
Yeah, she's got a bit of an Achilles strain that she picked up at the end of the game last week. She struggled to kind of like post-game really to be moving well, so she hasn't been able to train this week. It's not too serious, so we're not thinking it's going to be a long-term injury or anything. She was touch and go whether she could be involved this weekend, but we just felt that she wasn't quite ready and she wasn't able to get out and fully train this week. So yeah, hopefully she'll be back out on the training pitch next week.
Yeah, just a final one from me on that. Does that help in the scenario that Bree played all of last season, that she's someone reliable that you can call on to come back in?
Yeah, 100%. That was one of the massive reasons for having Riley and Bree, was so that we could have two, number one capable goalkeepers, and that's something not every team has in the league. I think we're privileged to have them both, and so when we get this situation with an injury of Riley, we've got this great replacement that can come in, who's played in the league and done well last season, tried and tested. So yeah, that's massive. It's like we talked about that strength and depth, two players in every position, so to have two good goalkeepers and know that we've got that reliability of Bree to come in tomorrow will be huge.
How do you have those conversations with good players who aren't going to get games?
Yeah, look, it's the hardest thing for a coach. There's always reasons and rationales why you make decisions, so my approach is just to be honest about that and be open about why we've made the decisions that we've made. Sometimes it doesn't always work out for them, and this not necessarily because they've done badly. That's the hardest part. If players aren't performing, they usually know, and they kind of usually accept that they maybe don't deserve to start or whatever it may be. But in some cases, like we've had this morning, at the moment, like Kelly Brown's missed out on the squad. She came on in the last game and did well, and she's trained well this week. But I just needed certain things dynamic on the bench. Obviously, ALeague coming back in and just making sure we cover off all the positions with, you're working through the what ifs. I think me and Callum have spent 3 to 4 hours talking about the subs bench this week. It's crazy. So these are all good problems, and they're hard conversations to have, but I guess the only thing you can do is just be upfront and honest about the situation and talk to the players, and hopefully they appreciate that, even if they're not necessarily in agreement at first. But look, so far all the girls have been really, really good to deal with in that space, and I think even if they're disappointed, they come back and they come with the right attitude. They're good team members, so yeah, I'm not concerned about any of those things.
Is Kate Taylor a number 6 for you now? Just a number 6?
She's number 6 in this team at the moment, yeah, for sure. I don't think we're going to rule out Kate Taylor playing centre back again, because even just in training today, her defending in and around the box is exceptional, So we know that she can be good in that position, and we're fortunate that we've got Mac, Marisa, Kate, and Bex Lake. So we've got 4 really good centre backs to use, but Kate's done a really good job in the midfield. I think she's getting better every week. I talked after the first game about pressure coming from different angles when you play in centre midfield, and I think like she's starting to get used to that and knows when to kind of bounce the ball out and when to draw players into her and when she's got space to turn. So once she feels really comfortable with that, I think you'll see her performances go to another level. But I'm really happy with the job she's doing for the team in that position, so she'll carry on there.
And ALeague, where does she fit best into your system?
She's definitely one of the eights in this system, playing in the pockets of space, being creative. She's very good on receiving on the turn and kind of playing in those tight areas and being able to kind of unlock teams. I think that's like her strength. And that was very much kind of like with ALeague and Macy and Alyssa, Chloe, Wiz. I always feel like those players are probably a little bit more attacking, and so that was one of the big decisions to kind of go from like 2 defensive midfielders and 1 attacking and switch that around to have 2 more attacking midfielders, because I just think we've got a wealth of talent in that area. So really good options to have, massive impact off the bench in that position as well that we've seen recently. So yeah, it's a bit of sport for choice really.
And with a player like Macy Fraser, you can't go onto a football website these days without seeing her face, and that's really just happened the last couple of 3 weeks. Any need to keep a player like that her feet on the ground?
There's no need to keep her feet on the ground in a personal level, because she's very humble and she's very kind of grounded in terms of she knows like where she can be better, and we have lots of conversations about that. So I think myself and Macy are pretty grounded about it all. But you know, I guess you can't control like how the public view it, or social media, or like whether people get super excited or overhyped. Like that's kind of out of our control. So I think the most important thing is like that Macy and I kind of stay connected in terms of kind of like the real situation, and she's definitely not getting too carried away. She's still working really hard, and I think like she's a really humble person, and so like I don't think it's going to affect her in a negative way. But I think we also just need to be wary as well that she's like 2 games into a professional career. There's probably going to be a time this season where her performances aren't like shining out, and everyone's talking about her, you know, in terms of being one of the better players on the pitch. There'll be form to consider. We just got to work through that kind of like in her as a professional footballer, and I guess like just not getting too far ahead of ourselves, but appreciating what we've got and just keep working with her on that progress.
Just continuing with Macy, I guess, can you talk to her mental fortitude? Because I guess she's 21. I think a player with that talent may have debuted a little bit earlier in other examples. So she's had to go through the ringer a little bit to now get this opportunity. Can you just speak to her mental fortitude? Yeah,
I think all of these girls are so tough, and I think it's the image that the female players portray is they're very kind of relaxed and smiley, and they're very easy to engage with, and they've got these awesome skill sets, but underneath it all they're tough, and I'm seeing it day in day out with all the players. And in Macy's case, you know, like she's kind of had her separate journey, which is perhaps not the kind of journey that everyone thinks it's going to be, like that straight line kind of, you make the first team at 15, 16, you stay in it. It's taken a little while longer for her, but yeah, she's very resilient, I think, underneath it all, and ready when the opportunity comes. And I think like the first 2 weeks in the first 2 games, she's really stood up and shown that she's able to step up to this level. And so, yeah, I think from that perspective, like that does show you like a really strong mentality to be kind of willing to be confident and also to back yourself when it really matters. And I think that's important. So yeah, but yeah, I'm just super impressed across the whole squad really with that resilience and mental fortitude. I think it's very strong across the group, and I think it's easy to kind of maybe go past it because the exterior is always so smiley and happy and laughing, and there's like a nice buzz, but underneath it all, these girls are tough athletes.
I know we're only a couple of games into the season, but you're 4th on the table. Is that a pleasing thing? Is that something that is a goal for this season, to be around here in the table?
Yeah, People have told me I've been fourth. I didn't want to look at the table because I kind of think like it's 2 games, like it doesn't really sort of tell the story yet, who's played who, etc. I think like after everyone's played each other once and we've had a whole round, if we're in that kind of top 4, top 6, that would be great. I think we're certainly aiming for that, you know, in terms of what we believe that we can achieve. But I also think like don't put any limits on it, you know, because we all truly believe that the team we've got and the mentality that we've got, that on our day we can beat anybody, and so we're not going to be scared of anyone. We're going to go into every game planning to win, thinking we can win, and if we can put the performances in that we know we're capable of, then we can win those games. And so there isn't any reason to put limitations on it. It's just let's approach every week and try and win every single week. And I think they've embraced that mentality, and that belief is really starting to grow within the team. They're believing in the way we're playing, they're believing in each other, and obviously the result last time out has kind of helped enhance that a little bit more, and if we continue to win games, that just gets stronger and stronger.
And do you think you've got the balance right with the team too, in terms of foreign signings and the young talent? Do you think there's actually a really nice blend of female players here in this team to do something special?
Yeah, it feels like the balance is good. I mean, I guess we don't truly know that until like the season's washed up and we can really analyse exactly like where we may be a little bit short or where we have, you know, maybe perhaps stronger than we even thought we were. So it's difficult to analyse at this stage. What I'd say is that I'm really happy with the blend in terms of how it's all coming together, and how those kind of visa players are settled in, how the academy girls have come in and stepped up, and then with Rebecca as well coming in, I think like the vibe is really good and it feels like the balance is good. And we're strong across the board, like in all positions, and I think the competition for places is high, so it feels like the balance is good, but ultimately I think we're going to find out the results of that at the end of the season, really.